Warning, warning, warning calling all ambitious SMEs, sales and marketing professionals. Your undivided attention is higly required to view this week's newsletter. Believe me, what you are about to read will shock you beyond your wildest imaginations. Period. Frankly, we need to talk about businesses' operations changes as some traders need to adapt during the GE15 period. It's a necessary event for you and me, agree or not. In fact, this occasion is an eye-opener as there is a need of adjustment business operations hours and before, during and after the country-wide voting exercise. Believable? You bet it is. As a necessary preview to this newsletter, here are some facts and figures need to be highlighted first. Okay. You may be interested to know small businesses usually takes a break on weekends, but then some of them would like to capitalize on the rush of enthusiasm on polling day. At this period of time, small traders hope to recoup their earnings suffered during the COVID-19 problem and their expected usual earnings during year-end. Also, small businesses hope to earn more in spite having to operate even on their usual off days on weekends. With this expectations, they are willing to readjust their business operations days. Trust me, even the Penang Turf Club is now rescheduling their operations to meet the needs of punters, employees and jockeys on polling day itself. True. Jokes aside. Without further ado, let's dive headlong into this week's newsletter. Shall we? Thanks. Here's goes. Flash news. It's business as usual for some retailers and small businesses. Georgetown. Although he usually takes a break on weekends, a stationery shop owner here will open for business today, hoping to cash in on the flurry of excitement on polling day. The 53-year-old, who wished to be known only as Lee, said with more people coming to vote, he hoped business would be better. My shop is usually closed on weekends, but I might open on polling day. I sell raincoats and umbrellas too, so I'm counting on voters coming to buy them if it rains. I am also considering selling bottled mineral water in case the weather gets too hot, he said, adding that business had been slow since the COVID-19 pandemic. Lee also said he would be casting his vote since his shop was near his voting center in Bayan Baru. SME Association of Seberang Pri President Francis Wong said business would be open as usual on the eve of polling day as well as on polling day. We can't just stop operations. We have plans to keep up with, and we are nearing the end of the year, which is usually our busiest time. We will have to replan our working schedule if we stop operating for 2 days for GE15, he said. Wong, however, said he had granted leave to his staff voting in other states. It is everyone's right to cast their vote. As employers, we will have to make arrangements for our operations to carry on as usual. We can hire part-timers or get our staff to work on rotation, he said. A Malaysian Retail Chain Association spokesman said most retailers would be open for business as usual despite the polling day. I have checked with some retailers and they said they are open for business as usual on November 18 and 19 but are expecting low sales. Staff are allowed to go vote on a rotational basis, he said. Meanwhile, the Penang Turf Club has readjusted its November program at Batu Gantong and brought forward today's races to allow members of the racing fraternity to go out and vote. We have rearranged our program so that the 7 races can be held earlier to allow the owners, jockeys and trainers to vote on polling day, said a club spokesman. The federal government has declared November 18 and 19 as public holidays for GE15. All in all, isn't that wonderful news for you and me? Having read this bulletin to the end, we shall now conclude by re-examining some critical points. Alright. To sum up on the issue of SMEs, businesses operating as normal for some trader and small-time entrepreneurs during the GE15, here are the essentials points need to repeat, agree or not. In a nutshell, you would remember that small businesses normally takes a break on weekends, but then some of them would like to profit from on the excitements on polling day. Do recall at this period of time, small traders hope to get back their earnings lost during the COVID-19 problem and their hope to earn more during year-end period. Be reminded that small businesses hope to earn more in spite having to operate even on their usual off days on weekends. With this expectations, they are willing to readjust their business operations days. Mentioned must be made again. Even the Penang Turf Club is now adjusting their operations to meet the needs of those people involved in the gambling business on polling day. Easy to remember. I am sure you will. By the way, this GE15 is indeed an extraordinary opportunity for SMEs to capture extra business from the crowd engaged in the voting process. True or not? Incidentally, since we now have a good understanding of this week's bulletin, there is one thing we must learn from this elections. My humble opinion is that we, as ambitious SMEs, sales and marketing individuals, must always capitalize on doing extra business where there is any chance. Are you game? I guess you are. As a reward for you reading up to these lines, here is wonderful quote by Linda McMahon. She is an American political executive, retired professional wrestler, executive, and performer. She says, small business people are people with goals and values that can't be calculated on a profit and loss statement. End of quote. Source. Extracted and modified from Open Printed Media. P.S. Although this is a lengthy sales and marketing SMEs newsletter, yet we want to congratulate you for watching and reading this bulletin completely. Since you already read this news, therefore, you now deserve more forthcoming weekly free chapters of the book, How to Apply Sales After Sales Tips and Techniques for Greater Selling Success. Plus, we are eager to know which part of this sales and marketing SMEs newsletter you learned most. Your feedbacks would help each other be more proficient and more professional. Remember, these sharings will continue in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course in our author, trainer and consultant's email, josephsung@gmail.com. Upon request. Alright, thank you. We hope to meet you again next week. Goodbye and best wishes. From me, yours truly, Madam Sophia, the virtual presenter to CTM Joseph, the 28th of November 2022.